as always, Gambo, remind everybody out there that your Gambo 5 is based on the idea that the Suns stay put at number 22. This is
I can't read mine. If they move down, I don't know how this would play out. If they move up, I have guys that I know that they like. If they moved up, I think like the Duke point guard as a kid, McCain, I think they really like. I just don't think he would be there at 22, so I didn't put him in my Gambo 5. I've ruled out players like Kyle Filipowski and Deron Holmes and Isaiah Collier and even Adembona, the UCLA kid. So I've ruled out some players. But, yeah, if they stick at 22, I've got 5 guys that I'm kind of putting out there that I think that I know that there's interest in. I know that there is interest in these 5 players. Could there be one that I missed? Sure. I mean, yeah, but these are the 5 I'm going to go with that I would think that one of these guys could be the pick if they are taking a player at number 22.
The 4 that you've revealed so far are, in no particular order, Khalil Ware, the sophomore center out of Indiana, Tyler Kolek, the senior point guard out of Marquette, Yves Missi, the freshman center out of Baylor, Ryan Dunn, the sophomore forward out of Virginia. Who is the 5th and final member of the Gambo 5?
This was my toughest one. This was really my toughest one. It came down to 2 players, and I just had to play the odds here. Now, based on the odds, the player that I was going to put in this list, I had to eliminate him at the last second, and it was Tyler Smith, the G League Ignite kid. I was really close to putting him in that list. He was going to be my 5th guy, and he actually was my 5th guy like right up until today. Tyler Smith was going to be my number 5 guy. But I think this is how I'm thinking. The players that I've mentioned already, I think that they like all of those guys better than Tyler Smith. I think one of them will be there. So it doesn't make sense to me to put Tyler Smith in because I think he's behind all of those guys. I think one of those guys will be there. So I'm going to take a gamble on a player I believe that they really like that might fall to their spot at 22. So I'm going to play the odds here. And that player is Colorado forward Tristan da Silva.
Tristan da Silva, forward, Colorado.
Da Silva 3. What a stroke.
Well, Lampkin is on the bench, and besides, he's not guarding Samuel anyway. So they're really taking advantage.
Do go with some pressure, but there's no way House can guard Da Silva off the dribble. Look at Da Silva come in and thunder it down.
It's hard to help out against Marquette because they spread the court out so widely.
Good pass, Lampkin, and a sledgehammer throw down by Da Silva. Outstanding. And low it goes, O'Brien, and he spoon feeds the driving Tristan da Silva, who's got 4. He's 5 of 5.
He has not missed a shot.
Da Silva 3.
Senior wing player out of Colorado, 6'8", got a wingspan of about 6'10" or so. He's a senior. He's an older player. He's 23 years of age, 16 points last year, shot nearly 40% from 3, and that would seem to be the key. He's somebody who can help right now.
Right now. Ceiling may not be as high as some of the other guys, but he's a versatile forward. He could shoot the ball really well. He's taken like 300 three-point attempts the last 2 years, knocked down about 40% of those, a lot of catch-and-shoot ones. Not the greatest athletically. These other players I've mentioned are probably more athletic than him, but he's definitely a rotation wing guy that can come in and play right away. Now, I think a lot of projections have him at 16, 17, 18, but I'm going to take the gamble that that he could fall to 22 here instead of going with Tyler Smith from the G League Ignite because, again, I think the other players I've mentioned already I have higher than Tyler Smith. So I needed to take a gamble in my Gambo 5. I needed to take a gamble that somebody they like is going to fall a few spots. So I'm going to go with Da Silva. I still am not sure if he's going to be there or not, Bernsey, but I'm just playing the odds that if one guy falls, if he falls, he could be the pick for them at number 22 because he does fit a lot of what James Jones likes in a player.
Yeah, and I think that's the key here is that he just looking at his stats, looking at his raw data, looking at how old he is, he looks like a James Jones type of player. You know, like somebody who's got experience, who's been there, done that, will be able to help right away. He's got a very, kind of Cam Johnson, Ty Jerome sort of like experienced feel to him. It's a name, I'll be honest with you, it's a name that I've been kind of paying attention to. One of the few, I would say, that I've been paying attention to for the last 2 or 3 weeks for exactly all the reasons that you just said. It feels like the Suns are more inclined to take a help now guy, and Tristan da Silva is a help now guy. Now, there are weaknesses to his game. Defensively, he's good, not great. He might be a little bit of a liability on that side of things, but he can shoot the three. He can play a very capable wing. He's ready. He certainly would be a guy that would be in your rotation right away. I mean, right away he would play, and you could give you 15 minutes per game. It's just some of the other guys, and this is where the Suns, Gambo, they're in such a weird spot. They are so built to win now that if somebody like Tristan da Silva is just sitting there staring in the face 22, could you pass on something like that for somebody who's more of a project? Could you pass on somebody like that who's maybe 2 years away from hitting their peak? Or do you absolutely have to take somebody who can help you win right now? Because that seems like what da Silva is right now.
I think there is a priority on taking a rotational player that's inside their top 10 that, as I've said, can play when it matters. Not just play in a regular season, but I'm saying play when it matters, and play when it matters means playoffs. Can they find a guy that can play in the playoffs? Da Silva's a guy that I think checks a lot of boxes. He's a good basketball player. Comes from Munich, Germany. He's a good basketball player. His ceiling may not be as high as those other guys, Burnsy, but there is a lot to like about his game.
Yeah, the comp I was looking at on the Ringer was Kyle Anderson, and that's almost exactly what I think of when I think of a player who's good, not great. Given any given night, he can contribute. Any given night, he can help. Any given night, but he's never going to be confused with the best player on the floor, and he doesn't have that kind of potential. I think, and I know your concern about putting him on the Gambo 5 was whether he was going to be there or not. I do think that's what worries me a little bit, is that depending on where teams are drafting in front of them, they might look at him and think exactly the same thing. Like, we need somebody who can help us right now. We need somebody who's ready to contribute right now. And I just wonder if that's what keeps him from going to the Suns. You know, that other teams will feel exactly the same way about him.
I think there's probably a better than 50-50 chance that he'll be gone by then. But then again, I think they like Tyler Smith a little bit. I just think they like the other players that I've mentioned more than they like Tyler Smith. So then it came down to, process of, do I want to take Tyler Smith? Yeah, they like him, but they like those other guys better. And one of those guys is going to be there that I've mentioned already. Or do I take the chance that somebody that they like may fall a few spots, and then they've got a tough decision to make, so I went with this.
All right.
Thanks for watching Burns and Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona Sports.